Occurred, the 10th of November 2016, 1930. Location, Indianapolis, Indiana. Shape, light duration, 5 minutes 23. Amber lights traveling northwest to southeast making no sound. Upon returning from the grocery, I noticed amber lights in the sky as I carried groceries from the car. They were traveling northwest to southeast and made no sound. I counted 23 of them. They weren't keeping a strict formation and some were stragglers. I reported them to CBS 4. I've not heard back.
Occurred, the 10th of November 2016, 1945. Location, Indianapolis, Indiana. Shape, sphere duration, 3 minutes. Characteristics. The object changed color. Glowing orange orbs flowed across sky. Multiple orange orbs glided in a fluid motion in a northeast direction. They glowed an orange-red color. Followed them but disappeared.
Occurred, December 30th, 2016, 1:01. Location, Indianapolis, Indiana. Shape, diamond. Duration, 51 minutes. Characteristics. There were lights on the object. There was an aura or haze around the object. The object changed color. The object made a sound. There were aircraft in the vicinity or aircraft chasing the object. Multiple flying and lit up diamond-shaped objects were seen going from one specific place to another, waiting in sync for each one to go. Around 1:01 a.m. on Friday, December 30th, 2016, I witnessed multiple flying objects in the night sky. I was up watching a show, when all of a sudden I heard a loud and peculiar noise, not one of an airplane, but it was louder and more high-pitched. I looked out of my bedroom window and noticed a flying, lit-up diamond-shaped object coming from across the sky, so I watched it. Curiously, I stayed until it was out of sight, then right as I was about to turn around, I saw another one coming from the same area where the first one had come from. So I waited for that one to pass, but before I knew it I was there for over 45 minutes just watching these objects go from one side of my window to the other. Finally, I had gotten tired of waiting for another one after about the 15th one, so I headed to bed. There was a gap between the 15th, 16th and 17th ones. Around 1:55 a.m., I went to lay down in bed whenever I heard the noise get louder. Two of the objects flew close to each other up. ND stopped. About 15 to 20 seconds later they left, one going one way and the other way. I thought it was finally over until I heard the noise coming back again, but shortly after that, a train came at 2:02 a.m., and after that train, there were no more flying objects that were seen. NUFORC note. Witness elects to remain totally anonymous, provides no contact information.
Occurred, the 1st of January 2017, 0000. Location, Indianapolis, Indiana. Shape, fireball. Duration, 10 minutes. Characteristics. There was an aura or haze around the object. The object changed color. Fireballs over Indianapolis on New Year's Eve. Balls of fire went from a spot on the horizon and came up into the sky in a straight line. One after another, a small gap between a couple of times. 4 in the sky in a line at once. Went to a specific point in the sky and then disappeared one after the other. Fireworks were going off and that was what we were watching. After this event started to happen and continued several minutes after the end of the fireworks.
Occurred, the 2nd of March 2017, 0000. Location, Indianapolis, Indiana. Shape, disk. Duration, 10 minutes. Characteristics. There were lights on the object. There was an aura or haze around the object. The object emitted other objects. The object changed color. There were aircraft in the vicinity or aircraft chasing the object. Missing time was experienced. Marks found on body. Afterwards I was on the highway on East 38th Street and Pendleton Pike when I seen an object that resembled the sun. It was a bright ball of light hovering over the highway, and as we were getting close it split into 2 other lights, then started maneuvering in a weird way. It started traveling at an amazingly fast speed. Then all of a sudden came to a halt and started blinking rapidly as it seen me recording, like it was trying to let us know it's seen us, but shortly after it disappeared. And then reappeared on another side of the sky really fast. I was shocked on how close we were to it. Like I never experienced anything of this nature, but after this incident I started having problems concentrating on things and seeing strange light hover by my house. It's really bothering me, as if it knew I was recording it and I wasn't supposed to or something, but I'm glad I got to share my experience, and I also have video of this event I'm willing to share.
Occurred, February 17, 2017 2100 location, Indianapolis, Indiana. Shape, fireball duration, 10 minutes. Characteristics: there were lights on the object, there was an aura or haze around the object emitted other objects, the object changed color, there were aircraft in the vicinity or aircraft chasing the object it was trying to make contact. It was a bright bleeding orange aurora surrounding this object hovering 50 feet over my cousin's vehicle. It acts like if it wanted to land in front of us on a busy intersection. But the crazy part about that night is there were no cars nowhere to be found at the time, which I find crazy. But shortly after hovering, the object disappeared, only to break into 3 other objects and start zipping the sky, doing out of this world maneuvering that I've never seen before. At one point it completely stopped mid-air for about 20 seconds, then took off at an amazing speed I only see on movies. I'm actually shaking writing this from the vivid memory of this. I just want answers. It's really eating me alive because I feel as people will think I'm a crazed person when in fact I have actual footage. I just don't want to share it with anyone and risk my life being in danger. I have the video on my YouTube channel, Who's Ear Daddy TTV. Fox 59 News couldn't explain what the craft was. I just need answers. I feel like I'm going insane. Please help.
Occurred, the 4th of July 2017 1300 location, Indianapolis, Indiana. Shape, circle duration, 10 minutes. Characteristics: there was an aura or haze around the object, a giant, 3-level craft on 4th of July. I am sure of the day, but not the year. It was 4th of July in early afternoon. I went into my large backyard and happened to glance up. The sky was bright blue and small white clouds were traveling northward. There was one large cloud to the near northwest that was the same color as the rest, moving, sort of bubbling in place but not changing position in the sky. The smaller clouds were moving past it, above and below. Then I realized that the large, stationary cloud was mostly concealing an enormous craft. I noticed it because most of it was concealed by the cloud, except for the front and about 4 or 5 dark openings. The color of the craft was a pale, washed-out gray. From my vantage point, I couldn't tell whether I was seeing a side view of a disc or of a cigar-shaped object. The overall effect was like seeing the nose of a cruise ship peeking out of a cloud. The structure I could observe resembled a 3-layer cake. The top layer was the smallest and had no openings. The second layer was larger and wider, and had about 4 or 5 dark, vertically rectangular openings, being a bit wider at the bottom. The rest were concealed by the cloud. The third layer was still larger and had no openings that I could see. I don't know how big the craft was, but judging from what I saw, it must have been hundreds of feet across. I have never doubted life beyond that on Earth, so the sight didn't much affect me. I went back in the house, came out again 5 minutes later, and it was still there. It was gone about 20 minutes after that. I should have had the presence of mind to photograph it. I have told my wife and 2 other people about this. I think it makes them uncomfortable.
Occurred, September 23, 2017 2 o'clock location, Indianapolis, Indiana. Shape, light duration, greater than 40 minutes. Characteristics: there were lights on the object. The object changed color. Light object moved sporadically for almost 50 minuets, unexplainable speed and precision. Stepped outside to have a smoke, and I tend to look at the sky, and to the northeast sky, I see a light, flashing like a plane far off in the distance would, but I noticed the object wasn't moving away or towards me but rather up and down, rather quickly. Also it moved in an oval shape from time to time and also in a close figure 8 movement. It also seemed to turn. That's when I noticed it wasn't really flashing but something else. I really can't explain how this thing was moving. I have a few videos I tried to take. You can clearly see the light object. You can see it moving sporadically up and down, side to side. My heart was pounding a few times because of the way this thing was moving, and how fast and precise it was. Honestly amazing.